Welcome to Detour Ahead, the show where we're probably not going to get where we're going. I am your best friend, your favorite boy, Riley, here with my good friend, Colo Chu.
Hola.
And we're here for episode 1, the Maiden's Voyage of Detour Ahead podcast. New, never before seen podcast. You've never heard anything like this before. It's it's truly a new experience for everybody involved.
Yeah, more or less.
So we got some stuff to talk about
Never
today.
been a podcast out there like the one we're doing today. This is completely brand new idea. There has never been a podcast ever like this ever in the history of podcast ever.
There's never been a podcast where Riely and Colo sat down and talked about topics for no reason and just had a good time. That's never existed before. It's not
Nothing
real.
that's ever come close to the intricate details that we have put into Detour Ahead, everybody.
Detour Ahead. So Colo, I believe you had a topic you wanted to bring to the table to get us started proper here on the Detour Ahead show.
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The whole point is we're never going to get to the destination. Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was supposed to be funny.
It was. I laughed.
So I got a question.
Sure.
We're gonna start this off with a little question. Anybody who listens to this, leave your answer down in the comments below. If you're watching it on YouTube, outside of that, I figure it out. I don't know. Anyway, Riley, my dear friend, my caster of pods, what is your favorite kitchen appliance?
Blenders.
Why?
Because they're cool and you can put some fruit in there, make a smoothie. And it's also just really funny to just fuck around with. You can do a lot of stupid shit with blenders if you're an idiot.
Okay.
And it's
okay.
great.
Speaking of idiots, what is one thing that you have put in a blender that you were not supposed to? Because I feel like your previous statement.
I don't think I've ever done anything that much
over here.
No, I haven't done that much. I think the most I've done is I put like an entire apple in there.
Yeah, that don't work.
Yeah, I know. No, it blended. It just wasn't very good.
God damn, what kind of fucking blender do you have?
Dude, I had one of those fucking... I don't think I did actually, but it was the equivalent in power to... Have you ever seen Will It Blend?
No, I haven't. No. I probably have.
Yeah, Will It Blend is this YouTube show where this old guy who works with some like blender company, he just like puts a bunch of random shit in the blender and it's like, will it blend? And it always does because the blender is so powerful. And like he throws crazy shit in there like iPhones and fucking just fucking blends everything and it's great. And that was the kind of blender I had as a kid. It was very powerful. Could blend anything if you really, really put your mind to it. I did not put any iPhones in there to fully test it, but you know, maybe someday.
Did you put blades in the blender?
Blades? Put blades in the blades?
Did you put blades in the blender?
I did not.
Well, that's because they already came with them.
Oh, that's really good, Colo. God damn it.
I'm always gonna set you up for these stupid ass jokes that's gonna get you every time because you might always be like on edge about jokes like this, but you're never gonna expect them.
Oh, I'm pretty
like
between fucking between
quality jokes than the puns that Gingy makes.
I was about to say between Gingy's bullshit and Brad's is your Discord running. I think I'm hyper aware of all these stupid bits.
I should probably turn my alarms off because I do not plan on going to bed. So
that's fair.
Welcome to Sleepy Time Ahead, everybody, where Kolochu stays up since 5 for...
Welcome to Detour Ahead, where Colo falls asleep at the wheel and we all crash.
No. This isn't Sleepy Monkey Ball. This isn't Sleepy Monkey Ball over here. I'm not gonna fall asleep during a podcast.
Or Superman, Sleepy Superman. I fell asleep during Super Monkey Ball. I fell asleep during Superman. I fell asleep during the largest issue crossover last week.
No matter how tired I've ever been, or how blasted I've been. I've never fallen asleep on a podcast.
That's true. You do have that.
I've
No,
never
no,
fallen
no,
asleep.
no. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I have never fallen asleep. I have zoned out before. I will say I have zoned out, but
You
I
fell
never
asleep.
actually legitimately fell asleep.
You fell asleep on the Variety Hour finale, the initial
Yeah, it's
Variety Hour
probably because
run.
I just didn't care.
I mean, that's fair, but you did
It
fall
was also a
asleep.
garbage dumpster fire of an episode, so that one doesn't
It was
count.
mostly a garbage dumpster fire because you, Penguin, and fucking Brad all fell asleep.
Because we didn't want to fucking do it. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Was it Brad that fell asleep? It was everybody except for like me and one other person that fell asleep. I think it was me and Gingy that stayed awake, and you, Penguin, and Brad all fell asleep.
That's surprising. No, I think Penguin and I were definitely doing hashtag fake sleep there.
God damn it.
Yeah, we were probably doing hashtag fake sleep. Do you even know what hashtag fake sleep is at this point?
What, when you and Penguin pretend that you fall asleep and then you go do other stupid bullshit?
All right, so you
Like
know what it is.
assholes?
So, so for you listeners out there,
Like
whenever we
douchebags?
reference like on Pixel on or on the other one on the other cast pods that you can find us on. If you ever hear us mention hashtag fake sleep is something me and Penguin have come up with. I think Penguin came up with it first, but so when you go into Discord and when you're supposed to be doing something, like let's say a podcast or YouTube recording or anything that requires you to be awake, you go down to the little left-hand corner, you click your little icon, you hit invisible, and you kind of just mute yourself and pretend you slept. And then after like an hour or so, you gotta just unmute yourself, be like, huh, what? And then just disconnect. And then you go into a separate server that the person you're trying to avoid is no longer in. And then you go to hang out there for the next 3 hours.
Oh my I hate you so much. I hate both of you.
Hashtag fake sleep.
That whole concept that brings back the 17-year-old Riely rage that I've had bottled in since I crossed that fucking adult barrier, and it just wants to burst out now. I'm so mad about this.
It's not like this is the first time you've heard it, though.
Yes, but this is the first time it's been explained in such a roundabout way, where it's like, yeah, me and Penguin, we totally did that, dude. We totally we left, we
Everybody
pretended
has
to be
done
asleep.
it. Everybody has done it. And I'm throwing everybody under the bus here, but it
I've
doesn't matter.
never once fake slept. If I can't make it to a podcast or I don't want to make it to a podcast, I just say that. I don't pretend to sleep.
You see, it depends on the cast, though.
How
It
so?
depends. There's like a lot of I just realized I never answered the fucking question. Why
No, no, no. Hold on. We're still on this detour for a minute. What were you saying?
don't you dare use the name? No, don't no.
There's a
No.
detour ahead.
No. 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 I don't like that. No. Doesn't matter. What were we talking about?
Shit. I don't know. We're talking about fake
Exactly.
sleep.
No. We're talking about kitchen appliances, brother.
That's fair. What's your favorite kitchen appliance, Colo Chew?
You know, it'd have to be the refrigerator.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. It's a very versatile
Keeping those
appliance.
meats and cheeses.
Hell yeah, bro. I love meats and
If
cheeses.
not, here is my one argument on why the refrigerator is the best kitchen appliance there is.
Okay.
If not for the refrigerator, gamers like us couldn't eat shredded cheese at 4 in the morning for no reason.
Damn it! Oh no, that would be a tragedy. Fuck. Oh no. We
It is
need
a very
fridges.
valid point. You cannot eat shredded cheese at 4 in the morning if you don't have a refrigerator. You could do it one day,
Dude.
but by the time you go to do it the next day, it'll be bad because you didn't put it in the fridge.
Dude, I love just eating shredded cheese, dude. That's like the best. That's like perfect bliss.
All
is
right, if
just
someone
eating
puts a bag
shredded
of
cheese.
all right, we're gonna do a little scenario here. It is 4 o'clock in the morning. You are not. You have you have no plans the next day, so you're obviously staying up late. Let's say it's like between 2 and 4. Clearly, like super late. Nobody's supposed to be up during that time of day, time of night. You're hungry. You go downstairs. You open your refrigerator, and you open wherever the cheese is kept. There is a bag of sliced cheese, and there is a bag of shredded cheese. Which one do you choose?
Both.
Nope, wrong.
Okay.
You go for the shredded cheese.
Well, you clearly have not reached the level of ascended cheese theft that I have, Colo, because I hit up both of them, baby. I'm putting some shredded cheese, pouring it down my mouth, and I grab a couple of slices of the sliced cheese.
No,
Have
see,
a-
slices are more high class. Those slices are not for the 4 a.m. gamer looking for food. Slices are
bro. I need a
specifically for
fucking
sandwiches.
because
Slices are for
nothing.
sandwiches. Shredded
Listen,
cheese
first of
is not for
all,
sandwiches.
slices of like good cheese are definitely for just eating. I eat slices where
Nope,
they make those
you're
Colby
wrong.
Jack slices, those cheddar slices,
Nope, nope,
mozzarella slices. Ah, they're so soft when you
nope.
chew into
You
them.
are 100% wrong, and I am sorry, but you're a hooligan.
How so?
Sliced cheese is not for snacking. Sliced cheese is for sandwiches.
Bro, I will eat
Shredded
anything
cheese
for
has this
snacking.
sort of, like you said, shredded cheese has this sort of bliss that it gives you at 4 a.m. when you're just shoving handfuls of shredded cheese down your fucking gob at 4 in the morning. There is a
And then you sort
bliss
of
that is
just
associated with that. You
Colo,
don't get the
Colo,
same
Colo.
bliss from sliced cheese that you do shredded cheese.
Okay, but beyond the sliced cheese with the shredded cheese Colo, let me explain the scenario to you, and I want to see if you've done the same thing, right? So when you eat shredded cheese, like right in front of the fridge, right? When you're eating the shredded cheese, and you take it by the handfuls and you drop some and you see some on the floor, like right in front of the fridge, you have you not before, like I did all the time when I was younger, just kind of kick the cheese under the fridge.
No, I've reached a higher level of shredded cheese eating to where you don't spill it anywhere. This goes along with like this level of bliss. Like
This
after a
level
certain
of
amount of time, you're no longer this maniac piece of shit child that shoves it down their gob at 4 in the morning. You grab a handful, you open your mouth, and you just drop the cheese in your mouth, and it just all the shredded cheese goes in your mouth.
Bro,
That's how
when
it's
I'm up
done.
looking when I'm up looking for food at 4 in the morning, I will consume anything. If there's a fucking like entire steak in my fridge, I'll consume that. I'll fucking can just absorb any like food matter that does not require me to cook it when I get wake up at 4 in the morning looking for food.
I mean, that's fair. I will say 4 a.m. is a very lawless time. Like you feel like you're above the law solely because 4 a.m. you're not supposed to still be up. You could be waking up at 4 a.m. That is perfectly normal. A lot of people do that. If you have continuously stayed up all day, meaning you did not go to sleep in between the normal sleep hours that a normal person has, and you are just up doing God knows what at 3, 4 in the morning, and you get hungry, you're gonna go for some shredded cheese. Doesn't matter if there's lunch meat, doesn't matter if there's bread. Your brain immediately goes to
No,
I
Colo,
want cheese.
Colo. If there's bologna in my fridge, that shit is the first thing I go for in any scenario. I just
No,
fucking rip that shit open and start going. Bologna is like crack when you're hungry in the middle
I
of the
will say,
night.
bologna. Ever since like after I started like being able to make food on my own. So like let's say 7 or 8, when I was like able to actually make my own food. Not that I did. My parents made my food for me, but like that like you have that level of consciousness where you're like, oh, if I put two and two together, I can make a sandwich. Like that level of consciousness where you're like, oh, if I do this and this and this
If I
makes
put thing
food
on
and this
bread,
makes
it makes
good.
sandwich.
I have not put bologna on a sandwich. I still eat bologna. Bologna is a whole different kind of food category in its own.
Bro, I just eat whole pounds of bologna in a second, bro. Like, if there's
Oh, I
bologna in my
will
fridge, it's
like I
gone.
could go to the store right now after this podcast is over, buy a pack of bologna, gone in an hour. Gone. No reason. And you go, oh, he's like a normal person. He probably made a couple sandwiches with it. Nope. Straight out of the fucking package.
Right out of the
Bologna does
fucking
not
pack.
belong on sandwiches.
Look, I can enjoy a
That's my
bologna
hot
sandwich
take for
every once in
today.
a while, but
Bologna does not belong on sandwiches. Bologna, in my opinion, does not mix with anything else. Bologna on its own is a god tier piece of meat.
well,
God tier.
it mixes with mustard really well. I like some mustard on my
Mustard
bologna.
is gross. All right. I'm
Fuck
just going to come
you.
out and say it.
Fuck you.
Mustard is disgusting. It smells awful.
Mustard is
The texture is
wonderful.
gross. Just like ketchup. Ketchup is gross as fuck by like unless I have fries and I do not have any other condiments to dip the fries in. Ketchup is
What
the
is your
last one
go-to
I
for
ask
fries?
for.
What do you dip in fries?
Oh, for fries? Oh, ranch.
You're
Specifically buttermilk
disgusting. You're
ranch.
a
Oh,
disgusting fucking sewer creature. Ranch is gross. Dude,
oh my god.
I'm gonna vomit, bro. That's disgusting. Ranch on fries? I'm gonna gag, bro.
No. No, you're wrong. You're just wrong here. I'm sorry. I don't know who raised you to be this little goblin child, but you're wrong.
Ranch is so bad. It's so bad, bro. Oh my god. You know what you dip fries in? Here's the correct answer. Mustard is pretty good, but here's the real answer. What you dip fries in, Colo, the best thing to put on fries is steak sauce. I'm sorry, it's the only answer.
Again, you little fucking goblin.
What?
I don't
What's wrong with steak sauce?
understand. I don't understand what little hobo goblin you are over here who eats sliced cheese at 4 in the morning and dips them in fucking mustard and A1 sauce.
I don't dip the cheese in A1 sauce. I'm talking about
You little
fries.
fucking goblin over here doesn't even know what fucking food is. You don't I don't think you've tasted
Dude,
high
A1 sauce
class.
on fries is great.
All right, potatoes. What do you eat with potatoes?
What, like baked potatoes?
Not baked potatoes. No, that's too hot. That I don't have money for baked potatoes. We don't eat baked potatoes in this house. That's too much preparation.
What do you mean by potatoes then if they're not
We're
fries?
talking potatoes that have been sliced up and thrown in the fucking oven. They come out. They're not a baked potato. It's like a sliced up baked potato basically.
I just season them and eat them. Sometimes I'll throw some butter on them. Sometimes I'll put some sauce, hot sauce on them. But mostly I just throw some
Okay.
salt and pepper on there and eat them.
Okay, we can agree with something on there. Regular potatoes I will eat with pretty much same shit you said. Red potatoes are different.
Okay. I
Red
disagree, but let's hear
potatoes.
this.
Red potatoes are different than regular potatoes. And now you might be thinking, "Oh, well, all potatoes are the same." All potatoes are not the same, and I can tell you that right now. Sweet potatoes are different than regular potatoes.
Okay. Yes, that's true. Sweet.
Speaking of potatoes, so this just blew my mind the other day. There is this like overall thing, like you know how like everything. Okay, so there's like a saying. I think it came from Reddit or something. Either Reddit or Tumblr, one of those degenerate sites with where everybody just fucking flocks to and makes memes. Um, Not that I have anything against either of those. Like, it's just if you like memes, you just flock to these two sites specifically. And there are two types of people: people who have been on Reddit and people who have been on Tumblr. And there's like this little gray area of people who go to both, but like you usually choose one or the other. Anyway, the saying is everything in the universe can be boiled down to two different things: potatoes and not potatoes. Have you heard of that before?
No, but I agree. I can get behind this logic.
All right, well, I'm gonna blow the logic in the fucking air and tell you that that logic is severely flawed. Would you like to know why? Now, this is where like sleepy time Colo kicks in with all the useless ADHD knowledge that I have. Not everything in
Okay.
the world can be boiled down to potato and not potato.
How so?
Sweet potatoes are not potatoes.
That's not true.
Nope, no, no, no. Sweet potatoes are yams. However, we call them sweet potatoes. So technically, by name, they are a potato. By
Colo,
actual
sweet
food,
potatoes come with like potato skin. You can peel them, you can make baked sweet potatoes. They're not just yams. Yams are sliced sweet potatoes.
nope. I don't remember the. I don't look. You're gonna make me sound stupid here because I don't remember the fucking like science behind it and shit.
Sweet potatoes are
Sweet potatoes are grown.
1000% potatoes.
Sweet potatoes are not grown like potatoes. Sweet potatoes are closer to like cabbages and stuff like that. They don't have roots. Potatoes have roots. Sweet potatoes don't have roots. Now that's where everything gets like the weird gray area where we call them sweet potatoes because they look like potatoes, but they're not actually a starched
Here's the
food.
new fucking playground debate, folks. Is water wet? Is hot dogs a sandwich? And now we've got is sweet potatoes potatoes?
Hot dog, hot what? Hot dogs are not a sandwich.
There's a big argument. It's one of those fucking playground arguments that everybody
It's
fucking slits
no
each other's throats
that is
over.
very simple. That is not a playground argument. Hot dogs are tacos.
Die. But yeah, a
Nope,
lot of
hot
people
dogs are
disagree.
tacos.
Dude, we got in trouble at work because like me and my little bubble of friends were talking about whether hot dogs were a sandwich, and it ended up spreading through the entire fucking call floor like
You can
super.
put hot dogs in between two buns. If the hot dog bun breaks in half, hot dogs become a sandwich.
I don't know
If
about
the bun
that.
is still intact and the hot dog is in between the bun, but the bun is still connected to each other, the two sides are still connected, it is considered a taco.
But yeah, we got into like passion argument about this at work. At first, it was like a fun little thing that was getting us through the day. It spread across the entire floor. We had supervisors talking to us about it just in passing. And then it got like so loud and intense that the supervisor had to be like, all right, everybody shut the fuck up.
Okay, so I'm gonna veer a little bit off topic here solely because I completely forgot. I was gonna tell you about this like a long time ago, and then I completely forgot. And then like I was looking through, I was going while we're doing this, I'm like cleaning out some of the memes and stuff on my phone, just like pictures I don't need anymore, old memes from like 2017 that have no relevance to today's society at this point. But I came across these two pictures. And
Okay.
I'm gonna send them to you, and you guys can you guys at home can look them up when I send them. So they're two Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and these are legitimate Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All right. So these are my two favorite all time favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards. So we got Goga Giga and Gaga Giga. Goga Giga Gaga Gigo, which is a legitimate Yu-Gi-Oh card. And then the second one that I sent Riley here is interplanetary purpley thorny dragon. These are legitimate Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Did you get the DM?
Yes, I did. And I've been talking. I didn't realize I was muted. Yeah. Classic Yu-Gi-Oh characters: Go Giga Gigo and Interplanetary Purpley Thorny Dragon.
And for those of you who didn't who chose not to look it up or whatever, interplanetary purpley thorny dragon. Interplanetary purpley thorny is all one word. And then it just says dragon. And it's just a purple fucking dragon. And I'm just like, I don't understand why
It's Spyro.
it's basically just fucking Spyro, but like the one that's even better than that is Goga Giga Gaga Gigo. which
I'm
it
sorry.
sounded like
Go geek
somebody took
gaga
text to
geekle.
speech to a fucking toddler and said, "We need one more
That's a
Yu-Gi-Oh
Yu-Gi-Oh.
card." They put the mic up to the kid and started talking to the kid, and this is what this little goblin spewed out of its mouth at the time. And text to
Goblin.
speech gave us Goga Giga Gaga Gigo. And they're just like, yep, just make it a Yu-Gi-Oh card. They're like, what do we do about the artwork? Have the intern design something. We
Bird.
really don't care what it is.
Buff bird Spike Man.
That's basically what it is. It's just
They spun like the wheel of Yu-Gi-Oh design. It had like like a species, a body type. It's just like bird,
so if you didn't look at this up,
buff.
it's a buff humanoid creature with fucking metal like Thanos gauntlets that have like talons on the end of them. It's got like a bird skull on its head, and apparently it's a fucking reptile. And I feel this is the best card in the world. I think.
It's not a dinosaur type card. Did you know there were dinosaur type Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I like that.
Oh, absolutely. I still have from my childhood. I still have my one last surviving Yu-Gi-Oh card. I was cleaning out my like a couple months ago. I was cleaning out my excuse me. I was cleaning out my closet at my parents' house just because my mom was getting on me. She's like, "Oh, you got to get rid of some of this stuff," and I agree. Some of it has been sitting there for 10, 15 years, and I used to collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have since then gotten rid of all the Yu-Gi-Oh cards from my childhood way back when. I,
Bro,
I got rid of them all when I was a kid because I didn't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore, and I'm so mad because I got rid of all the Pokemon cards too. I wish I could go back and like stop myself. The Yu-Gi-Oh cards I wouldn't be too upset about, except I would keep some of the cooler ones and like hard sleeve them and stuff. But like the Pokemon cards are like to this day still hit me just because I'm getting into
collecting
Pokemon
them.
collecting them again.
Bro, I mistreated Pokemon cards so much as a kid. It hurts me. It hurts me so much. Do you remember the apple slices story?
No, I have no, I don't. Yeah, yeah, you told me about this. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, the between that and like trading a bunch of like my old cool cards for like new cards that were shitty then and shitty now. Like I had like the whole set of the Kanto Gym Challenge, and now I probably have like 5 cards from that set and a bunch of like bullshit Gen 5 cards that I traded for in elementary school. Not to mention that folder is now brown and sticky because of those fucking apple slices.
I'm trying to see when this one card was first released.
What Gaga Gigoga Giga
No,
Guga?
the one surviving Yu-Gi-Oh card. So in my attempt to clean up my closet, I was looking at all the Legos I had because I used to be like super big into Legos when I was a kid, and I keep them. My mom wanted me to get rid of them, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna keep them. I might get back into Legos eventually. So upon looking at them, one little thing stood out, which was this last surviving Yu-Gi-Oh card from my childhood. It is like an absolute disaster. It has been folded like 80,000 times. It is a piece of shit card. Like if I were to go get it rated, they would probably kick me out of the store. That's how bad this card is. This card is ripped, bent. It's completely destroyed basically. But it is the last surviving Yu-Gi-Oh card of my original collection as a kid, and I now have a sentimental. It now has like immense sentimental value because it's one, the only Yu-Gi-Oh card I have, and two, it is the last surviving Yu-Gi-Oh card of my collection, and it's the Moki Moki King, and it's super cool, and I keep it hard cased, and I think it's
Ah,
really funny that
yes.
this card is absolutely destroyed, but it's in a hard case.
Wow.
And it is solely
Dude.
a hard case just because it's the last Yu-Gi-Oh card I have.
Dude, Yu-Gi-Oh's a game of fucking luck. I don't care what anybody else says. I DM'd Gingy about this when it happened. He obviously
Oh yeah,
disagreed.
no,
Yu-Gi-Oh
there's
head.
no skill involved behind Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, because here's what happened, right? I bought the Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Nintendo Switch, the Link Evolution Legacy of the Duelist, whatever the fuck bullshit. And I was playing the Yu-Gi-Oh GX campaign. and there is a duel in that campaign where you play as the character Bastion and you fight the character Chaz. And Chaz's deck, before he got his Ojamas, which is what he's iconic for, he had a fire deck that like had a bunch of like attack boosting bullshit, and he fucking like annihilated my face like 9 times. And then one time on a random attempt, I drew one card and I played that card and I won the fucking duel. I drawed it first turn. I hadn't drawn it at all in any other duel. I drew it first turn and it won me the fucking game. Yu-Gi-Oh is a game of luck.
I completely zoned out. What are you talking about?
So I had a Yu-Gi-Oh duel in a video game. I failed it like 8 times, and then one duel on a first turn, I drew a card that I hadn't drawn in any of the other attempts, and I won the game because of that card.
Oh yeah, no, it's just it's pure luck based at that point. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Colo, did you ever get into like the dueling hardcore?
With the actual cards?
Yeah. Or just maybe in video game form, just in general.
Not really. It was more so just everybody was talking about it, so I was just like, "Oh, let's hop on the train." Like I
Bros.
used not maybe not Yu-Gi-Oh. I never really got super into Yu-Gi-Oh. It was just like a side thing compared to Pokemon at that point. It was just at that point it was just kind of like a fad that everybody was getting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I did have like not actual fucking Pokemon battles, like not like regulation
You
bullshit,
just
but
made
like
up your own rules.
yeah, kind of similar to like just I would have this one friend over and shit, and it was kind of fun.
That's cool. I remember doing that kind of shit like on the bus at school. But with Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like I'm into like the old game. Like I play like video games of like the original era and the GX era, and I'm like, oh, this is a fun little trading card game. But once you go anywhere beyond that, it gets fucking absurd. With like the fucking Xyz summons and the pendulum summons and the fucking Soul Link XL summons, whatever the fuck this game is doing now. Yu-Gi-Oh GX was when Yu-Gi-Oh was actually a fun game to play.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Look, the original OG Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the best one out of all of them.
Look, we're not talking about quality of the anime. I'm just saying GX is when the game itself was at its most fun because it added the fusion mechanic, which wasn't that confusing and it was cool. And it's like, okay, so it's like original Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's also these fusion cards which are pretty cool. And then with each gen, they added some new bullshit, and it's like, it's just GX is the best one because it had the one new little mechanic that was cool and people liked it, and it was basically the original game. Other than that, so I think GX had the best gameplay.
I mean, that's fair. I feel like in terms of the Funko Pops that they've released of like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, they really dropped the ball on Exodia, and I'm not too happy with the way that they released it.
They did Exodia Funko Pop.
Yeah, they have a 6-inch one.
Wow.
Yeah, they released them as a full figure. I really think that they should have released it like the cards. Left arm, right arm, left leg, right leg, and then the head of Exodia. And I feel like they would have literally made 5 times the amount of money that they would have.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And that's like
Honestly,
a really like missed opportunity. And that it's kind of disappointing that they didn't do that. And to this day, it still hurts me.
the thing about Funko Pops is that they fucking annoy me, right? Because like it's like whenever I see a Funko Pop, whenever I see a Funko Pop, it's always just too expensive, right? It's always just too much to justify getting at that moment. And that's why I don't own a Funko Pop to this day. Because whenever I see one in the store, it's like $25, and I'm like, oh, if this is like $5 less, I might consider it, but it's just over that line. Now I'm thinking about Funko Cops. I'm sure there is a Funko Cop.
I'm sure there is, but
Like some cop character from an anime. It's a Funko Pop. But I'm trying to think. I had something to say. Oh, Colo, I told you this over DMs, but I had an unexpected vacation this week. My fucking place of employment, their entire computer infrastructure just fucking killed itself, I guess. And they've been down the entire fucking week.
Damn, that's fucking awesome though.
It's cool right now, but it's not going to be cool in 2 weeks when I get not a paycheck. It's just so funny that, like, how does that even happen? Like, if they were down like a couple days, like, yeah, sure. They've been down since Sunday. It's Thursday. And apparently, one of my coworkers talked to one of the bosses on the phone because nobody's fucking answering the phones for me. They talked to one of the bosses on the phone, and they said they're probably going to be down until the middle of next week.
Oofums. Yeah, no, that really sucks. Speaking of
Hmm.
like mini vacations and bullshit, I have uh I have conned my job out of like so many days off where I've just been like, aha, aha, yeah, I'm not coming in. Or like I would get lucky and get the cool manager and I'd just be like, hey, it's me from night shift. And they're just like, oh, you fucking bitch. And I'm like, yeah, just put me down for a call off. They're like, what's your reasoning tonight? And I'm just like, yeah, I just don't feel like coming in. And they're like, oh, fair. Like I haven't had a legitimate reason for a while, but
So our
I have a
job.
hold on. I
Oh,
have
go
a
ahead.
I have a wedding coming up and that's actually tomorrow, Friday. Tomorrow as of recording. And it's not my wedding, don't worry. It's a family member. But anyway, so I have a wedding coming up and I only get Thursday, Friday off every week. So I was like, oh well, a majority of my day is gonna be taken up by this fucking wedding. And I'm not gonna have any time to myself. So I go to work a couple weeks ago and I go, hey, I have a wedding out in Pennsylvania that's gonna be sat on Saturday and I need Saturday off. And they're like, oh, do you want to work Thursday or Friday to make up for the hours? I'm like, no, I'm good.
No.
So now I have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I don't go back to work until Sunday morning, Sunday after Sunday night.
Great.
Completely just fucking lie to their faces and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be out of town. I can't work that day. And they're like, oh, that's understandable. I'm like, yeah, damn right it is. I'm not fucking coming in. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
either
So
you
the
schedule me off or I'm gonna call off, and just because I want my 2 days off.
Yeah, so the thing is with my job is the calling off is not done by actually calling them. They have an online system with like a drop down menu and a text box where you say why you're calling in. So like I don't call in often, but when I do, in the Dropbox there's one that says personal. So I just always click that and then don't give any details.
Yeah, that's fair. Half the time I'm just like, they're like, "Oh, why aren't you coming in?" I'm like, "I don't feel well." And they're like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, so I completely like lied to like three different higher managers faces and just told them like, I'm just like, "Yeah, fuck this." Yeah, no, I can't come in Saturday, blah blah blah. Really don't care. Don't feel like coming in. Cuz I'm trying not to hit like attendance points bullshit, so I literally just went ahead and I was just like, yeah, no, I have a wedding and I'm not gonna come in, which is
Yeah,
not a
that makes
complete
sense.
lie. I do have a wedding and it's gonna take up a majority of my Friday. So I was like, oh well, I might as well take Saturday off.
I've got this wedding on Saturday, bro. I've only ever been to one wedding that I was cognizant for, and it wasn't really like a super traditional wedding. It was when my grandmother remarried a few years ago. I don't really have friends who get married. I mean I do now, I suppose. I'm gonna try to have money to get to Nebraska when Gingy gets married. So, Colo,
Yes,
what is the funniest thing to ever happen to you in a work setting?
a work setting.
Like at work.
I have no idea. Work has been pretty boring. I don't really think
You don't
I
have
have
any
any really.
stories, like even from a previous job, or just like something really fucking funny happened one day?
You don't know music, so I can't really like use that.
Well, I mean, if music is funny,
Well, you don't know the song though. That's the thing. Anyway, okay, so I have a story for anybody who actually knows what this song is. So I used to work at this rec center, and we like every year in the summertime we would shut the pool down for 2 weeks and drain the pool and basically just deep scrub the shit out of it for 2 weeks. And this was like an optional thing. You could sign up to help or whatever, and I would always help because it was extra hours and I didn't want to be out of work for 2 weeks. It was also fun because you could literally just show up one day and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna work 8 hours today," and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it was kind of like a little like lawless, like there weren't any rules associated with it. It was just kind of show up and help basically. So it's one day, me and a couple other coworkers are just chilling out, just doing absolutely nothing. And
very helpful.
yeah, we're kind of chill. It was That's why it was also fun. We were allowed to listen to music. So we're chilling. We're kind of doing work, kind of not doing work. Doesn't really matter. So we're just chilling. Someone had their brought their speaker, and it was a decently loud speaker too. So there's two sides of the aquatic center. There's the competition pool, which is where like people swim laps and they hold meets for like high school and shit. And then there's the leisure pool, which is leisure, like slides and lazy river and shit like that. So
For
we're over in
vibing
the
purposes.
huh?
I said for vibing purposes.
Yeah, basically. So we're over in the leisure pool side, but like all the doors are open. You could still hear what we're doing over in the leisure pool side when you're over on the competition side. Over on the competition side, one of the higher managers is doing interviews for brand new lifeguards. These kids are 15, 16 years old, like still in high school babies, and we have a bunch of 20 somethings sitting doing absolutely nothing over on the other side. And like the funny thing is, we're playing like these absolutely obscene songs, like shit you would get in trouble for if you start playing in a work setting sort of thing. And the one song that came on was Crazy Rap, which is or Colt 45. And if you know that song, it's very obscene. And I'm not going to say anything because I'd rather Jason not have to cut all this out.
They say the N word?
No, no, I don't feel like I don't feel. Just go listen to the song. It's a good song to
Slobbing
listen
on my
to.
knob like corn on the cob?
Similar,
No, I
but
think it's a different
a
song.
little bit more descriptive. But anyway, go listen to the song if you guys haven't heard it already. Anyway, so we're blasting the shit out of this and various other obscene, stupid ass songs. And the manager comes over and says, "You guys need to keep it down. I have interviews over there with these like 15 or 16-year-old kids." Their first instance of seeing how this place works is a bunch of 20 somethings jamming out to obscene music while sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And they came over and started yelling at us, and we just continued what we were doing. I
That's
also have a
pretty funny.
couple of we're not gonna drop names down. We're not gonna drop names. They probably don't listen. They're probably not gonna find. They probably don't even know I have a YouTube channel at this point. It doesn't matter. But let's call this older lady Sarah. Let's say Sarah. All right. No, we're not gonna go with Sarah. That's too young of a name. Let's go with it's a really old person name. Carol. There we go. So so Carol comes in. I used to work morning shift there. Carol would come in at 7:30 on the dot every single fucking day. I used to be a supervisor there, so I would have access to the pump room and make sure everything was working. Carol would come in to swim laps for about 20 fucking minutes and then she would leave. In those 20 minutes, every single day, she would come in, she'd jump in the competition pool to swim some laps, and she would call me over and say, this water's too cold. You need to turn the heat up. Is there anything you can do about that?" Kind of like a Karen.
Uh-huh.
So I go over, I go, "I'm sorry, man." The first few times I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. The temperature is kept at a constant 79, 80 degrees. There's nothing I can do about it." And she always wanted to talk to my manager or whatever. And I'm like, "Oh, well, I am the manager." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm never coming back." She continues to fucking come back and cause fucking problems. So one thing I figured out about customer service is if you make it seem like you're doing something, these people will leave you the fuck alone. So I figured it out. I figured out how to deal with this Karen. So she would come in, she would complain about the temperature, and I would walk over, she'd complain about the temperature, and I go, "I'm sorry, ma'am. I will take care of that right away." I'll go back, I'll walk over to the pump room, I go in, shut the door, grab a chair, and I sit and play on my phone for about 5 to 10 minutes, doing absolutely nothing. I walk back out, go up to her, stop her mid workout, and go, "Is that better, ma'am?" And she goes, "Oh, that's much better, thank you." I did absolutely nothing, and these people are fucking stupid.
Damn, get fucked.
Easiest way to deal with stupid ass fucking customers that don't know what they're talking about, make it seem like you're fixing the problem. Because chances are they don't actually, they're just looking to complain. And if you act like you fix the problem, then they'll think the problem is fixed.
So I work at a call center. I used to do telemarketing. Now I do customer service. And there's one famous story from when I did telemarketing. I was not the one who was victim to this, but I was there sitting next to the person, and she told us afterwards, and we got to experience her emotions as she was taking this call. So this was back when I worked in sales, and she got like this guy who I guess like is like rich or something. Like he worked at a company, and he had an assistant. So he's at his desk. He's talking to this girl who is my friend about what she's selling, and the assistant. This guy's just being super rude and mean, and like he's such an asshole. And then the assistant walks into the room and like asks him a question or like asks him if he needs something. And the guy says, "You've done enough today. Why don't you go home?"
Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's so funny. Oh god, man. It's there were a lot of good calls working on telemarketing. I had like I had one day where three isolated different people did the fucking sperm bank bit that I guess people do to telemarketers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had never ran into it my entire time working there. I'd worked there for months at this point, and then one random Saturday, I got like three people in the same shift do
What's
it.
the fucking saying that they use all the time? There's like a whole saying that they do.
Everybody makes up no, they say sperm bank and then they make up like a catchphrase that like rhymes. Like I got you jack 'em, we pack 'em.
Yeah,
I
that's the
got
one I was thinking of.
yeah. I got a couple others too. I'm having a hard time remembering them. But I don't remember, but there were a couple different ones. I got some unique ones, but yeah, it was that was entertaining.
I'm waiting for the day that I get a call from your fucking call center and I'm gonna keep you on the line for like 4.5 hours. Do you
I
have
don't
the
do
rule where
sales
if you
anymore. I do customer service.
I know. Once if you go back to sales, do you have a rule where like back when you were in sales, did you have a rule where like you call them, right?
Yeah, I did call them when I was working there,
So
yeah.
if you get a customer on the line, you can't hang up. Do you have that rule?
No, we could say if we start talking to them and they don't respond to us, we could say customer unresponsive, agent disconnecting, and then disconnect the line
So say you call me, say you go back to customer service and you call my fucking phone.
or go back
If
to
I
sales. Yeah.
continue a conversation with you and occasionally bring up whatever you were selling, you have to stay on the line.
I think within reason. Like I think there we were allowed to like kind of bail out. They might like slap us in the wrist with a ruler over it, but it's not something we're gonna get fired over. Like if somebody's fucking with
Keeps
us.
you on the line for the entire 8 hours.
Yeah.
Why didn't you make any sales? This one guy just kept fucking talking to me this entire
He
time.
just
You told
kept
me I couldn't hang
fucking
up.
going. Yeah.
He would occasionally bring up the shit we were talking about. I'm trying to sell him and then be like, "Oh yeah, well, did you hear about this that happened the other day?" and you're like, I just want to sell you something, but you
The worst
can't hang
people were
up.
the ones who would ask you political questions when it's
Oh,
very obviously a policy that you can't answer those questions.
oh, yeah. No, I feel ya.
I had a group of guys from Texas who I had called, and it was like this whole group. They were hanging out. I had called one of them for a sales inquiry, and they just started like fucking with me. They were like asking me questions. They were like jokingly hitting on me. It was a whole amazing conversation. And at one point, they asked me if I voted for Biden, and I was like, I can't say anything politically. And then they were like, ah, we understand. We didn't, in case you didn't realize.
Oh my god, these people are fucking stupid sometimes, though.
And they also asked me how old I was, and I told them 18. And then they did like a joke, like, ooh, he's legal.
What the fuck?
It was
Anyway,
fucking
little
great.
current news. How's that hurricane though? Is that hitting you
Didn't
pretty
even
bad or?
really hit us. It was fucking pussy ass hurricane. Didn't even dent us really. So my neighbor's roof fucking collapsed. But it seems like that roof was ready to go anyway, because nothing else I've heard was damaged. Like there's some uh, like my friend, my buddy Alan, he posted on Facebook, just look at all this damage. How did we survive this hurricane? And it's a picture of like one tree branch on the ground, one like tiny little tree branch.
Yeah, because I saw that was going like right over where you live. I don't know if you want to make that shit public or not, but like,
Nah, it's whatever. But yeah, it didn't even hit us really.
yeah, probably doxes you anyway talking about the fucking hurricane, but like it doesn't matter.
Well, the hurricane hit all of Florida. People know I live in Florida.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know what you tell people.
Yeah, no, people know I live in Florida. It says my location is Florida, USA, like right on my Twitter page.
Well, yeah, no, right when I first started doing YouTube, I switched my Twitter up to first name, last initial, and Ohio, USA.
Yeah,
I
my
was like, you can know what state I live in. There's plenty of people. There's like 30 people here. If you actually happen to find me amongst the cornfields up here, good for you. There's like 30 people. There's not that many in Ohio. There's plenty in Ohio. We have like a couple hundo thousand, I think. I don't know, but there's not shit in Ohio.
yeah, Ohio isn't even real. Not even real. You can't convince me otherwise.
Ohio is real, sadly.
Israel
Yeah, it is.
is real.
Stop.
Israel is real? Question mark. Is Israel real?
Anyway,
I
we're
love I
coming up
love
on
those
like,
stupid memes that point out how it's spelled. Just all the Israel memes.
oh boy. Okay,
It,
we're gonna steer
it,
this conversation away.
we're not talking about like the geopolitical issue. We're just talking about how Israel is spelled like is real. So
Yeah,
people are
but
like,
that's a
Israel
slippery
is
slope
real.
to some things that would cause our wonderful editor to have to cut things out. That's a very
What are
slippery
we
slope.
banned from talking about fucking politics on this show? We can talk
Oh,
about Israel if we
I will
want.
refuse to talk about politics on this show. This show is not a politics show.
It doesn't have to be a politics show for politics to be brought up, but
I'm not talking about politics.
that's okay. That doesn't mean I'm gonna have Jason cut it out when I ask, "Is Israel is real?"
Anyway, I don't know how long we plan on these episodes being, but
At least an hour, which we're gonna hit in like 3 minutes. But there's some stuff. There's some stuff that needs to be cut out. So I'd say we got to go for like another 10 minutes.
anyway,
I'm trying to think. I probably have like one more really good story from work that I'm not thinking of. I mean, I did have a friend that was just like literally looking at porn on Reddit in the break room. That was pretty funny.
oh, okay. Okay, I got one. I got one.
I thought you're like, oh, okay, that's understandable. Porn on Reddit in the break room. It's pretty
Yeah,
standard.
it's understandable. But you know what OSHA is, right?
The like OSHA rule regulation thing.
Yep. 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 Okay. So I work in retail, specifically grocery. So like stocking shelves and shit. So I have to take every year I have to take this OSHA course. Back when I first started doing grocery at the place I work at, I knew this one guy, and he was on his way out. He was retiring in like 6 months at the time, so he was like, "Yeah, fuck this place. I really don't care." He went and purposefully failed the OSHA test times in a row, solely to waste time at work because he didn't want to work. To the point where the managers just started doing the OSHA test for him.
That's pretty good.
I still have now this is gonna dox me, but nobody I know at work bothers to listen to any of my shit, so it doesn't really matter. I don't care. I have yet to take the OSHA test, and we have this like food safety bullshit that takes like an hour and a half to do. I have yet to take those, and those were due at the beginning of the year. Nobody has come up to me to tell me to do them, and my plan is before I quit this job or transferred before I quit this company
Like your last
is
week, you're
to
gonna do that shit with the OSHA test.
oh no, my plan is to just never touch those tests ever and see how long I can go. At right now, I'm at like 5 months of just telling them, "Oh yeah, we're really slammed tonight. I don't think I have time to do it." So
Yeah,
yeah,
occasionally we have to do like stupid like trainings. Like they assign them to us and then we just like hit that we've done them. Like a lot of them don't even have quizzes, so it's just like, yeah, just say you did them. Cuz it's like we know what we're doing. It's not complicated to take fucking
oh
phone
no,
calls. Yeah.
no, it's like it's real simple shit. Like OSHA is like dummy proof at this point. My favorite part is like you don't actually have to take. I just have to do refresher courses, which take about 35 minutes, but I choose not to do them. But I was forced to do it one night, and I never finished it. I just let it go. I kind of just dicked around on my phone while listening to whatever they were fucking talking about. I wasn't paying attention. My favorite part about the OSHA test that I am given is the fact that I get to listen to this one guy talk about fire safety. Now, that doesn't sound funny at all, but this one guy who they like recorded for the fire safety portion of the OSHA that I had to watch sounds exactly like Hank Hill, and it was the funniest goddamn thing about the job that I have now.
Let me tell you about some fire safety, Bobby.
Is just listening to Hank Hill tell me about fire safety, and I'm just like, God damn it. Damn it, Bobby.
You gotta be careful with that propane.
Also, just because I looked over, so how much of Pokemon cards, like early Pokemon cards, do you know about?
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Colo? I had to sneeze.
Okay, so I have this like local, like kind of like it's like a game, it's like an impromptu game stop. You can buy Pokemon cards, you can buy games, like various video game and movie shit, memorabilia, whatever. It's like a nerd store, basically. It's a nerd store.
Okay.
So I bought like this pack of like bulk Pokemon cards, and I found a Squirtle, Porygon, Diglett, and Machop Team Rocket cards from 2000, and I keep them here. And I'm like, that's really cool. I have these old fucking Pokemon cards. They're not worth shit, but because they're not the first edition Rocket cards, but I think they're from like whatever second time they released Rocket cards of these Pokemon were. But I still think that they're really cool. I also have energy cards from the 90s that were included in that pack as well. So I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. 90s Pokemon cards are a different breed, I think.
Because like you can tell they're old, but if you look on the bottom, it still says Wizards on the bottom. Because Wizard before Game Freak took over all the Pokemon card shit, Wizards of the Coast did Pokemon cards. They kind of outsourced them before they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they outsource them to Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast actually know what the fuck they're doing. So the cards are really cool. And then when they decided they didn't want to pay Wizards of the Coast anymore, they started making them themselves, and they're less cool.
See, what I want to do is I want to get some of the original, like, not first edition cards, but just some like 90s Japanese cards, because I think that would look really cool. But those cost a lot of money, and I've also been like slowly looking into like what it's going to cost to finish my living decks of having at least one card of every fucking Pokemon out there. And I'm at like 59% done so far. I'm not close to being done because like the middle gens, like 4, 5, and 6 are really hard to fucking complete. But specifically Gen 1, I was looking at like Charizard cards, and I'm excluding the EX, GX, Charizard V Megas. I'm excluding like the actual art cards, just like base set cards for for some of these Pokemon. And some of the Charizard cards, I don't think I'm actually legitimately going to get a regular Charizard card outside of like the super cool full art cards, and I'm kind of mad about that because I don't want those in this specific collection, and it's really frustrating.
But full out cards are based.
Yeah, but those belong in a separate collection.
That's fair.
The full art cards have their own binder. I'm talking about just like regular ass fucking Pokemon cards.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's fair. But I think the full art cards belong in any collection because they're so beautiful. I put them in a collection of my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I look through them and be like, "Oh, there's a full art Pokemon card, epic, bro! I'll
Yeah,
play
that's
it
why
in
they
the
have their
Yu-Gi-Oh
sep-
game."
why they have a separate binder, because they're all really cool. But I did
Dude, what
find
if?
Team Plasma a Team Plasma Volcarona.
Oh, cool,
Let me look up this card because the colors on it is really cool.
dude! Imagine you're like dueling in Yu-Gi-Oh, and then somebody just pulls out a Pokemon card. It's just like hiding in their Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Nah, you pull out the Uno reverse card.
Oh no!
Yeah, so I found this
When you're
gem.
about to get hit by a direct attack, Uno reverse card.
So I found this gem, and it's like this orange red with a blue outline for Team Plasma Volcarona, and it's such a beautiful fucking card.
Yo, that Volcarona card you just sent me is cool as fuck. Team Plasma Volcarona. I love how Leech Life needs fire energies.
I also have a dual type Volcarona as well. It's grass and fire type. It's not
What
as
is that?
cool as the team. It's not as cool as the Team Plasma one, but it's still really cool to have.
I mean, it's hard to make Volcarona not cool.
Oh no, Volcarona is a super cool Pokemon. But like, I want to talk about I don't want to get too in depth with Pokemon because Pokemon's like a super easy topic that you can literally just get like 5 hours worth of just bullshit discussion time on Pokemon.
I
So,
mean, we got 87 episodes and counting out of it at Pixels Media.
air quotes around and counting.
Hey, I thought we were gonna make an episode, Colo. That make go up one. That make number go up. Number go up, number go up. I love that phrase. I love that meme phrase. I just say it all the time now. It's usually in reference to like cryptocurrency and shit, but I just use it for everything, like ironically, because it's so funny.
All right, well, we could probably wrap it up. We're at an hour and 7.5 minutes.
An hour and 7.5 minutes. All right, we can get this shit back, roll it back into the fucking driveway, because we did not make it to our destination. So we're
No, will
turning
we ever make it to our destination? Probably not.
we're
Where
turning
that
this car
destination
around.
is, we have no fucking idea.
So Colo,
Anyway,
where can our listeners find you?
you can find me on Twitter as Colochu54. Uh, excuse me, I had to cough. I'll be setting up an Instagram page as well, just in case people don't like Twitter. I won't post much about on Instagram, just like basic designs that I've done and like design stuff for the YouTube channel or whatever. Speaking of the YouTube channel, you can find me on YouTube as Colochu, Colochu. Why I spelled that, I do not know, because you're probably going to be looking at the fucking podcast logo that has my fucking name on it. So,
That's
you can
true.
also, I'm not going to plug this every time, but you can sometimes find me on Pixels, Polygons and Fun. I'll plug this like occasionally, but like obviously y'all who are listening to this podcast probably know us from there. So like
I
if
mean, yeah, and Pixels is part of my plug spiel anyway. I'm probably gonna plug it every time.
yeah, I mean I don't feel like plugging it every time. I just want to get my shit out there every time though. Anyway, you can find us
I'm
on
gonna plug
Pixels,
the time that you
Polygons and
don't.
Fun. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm gonna be setting up an Instagram eventually.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Riely Tweets, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Riely Streams, on YouTube as Riely and Friends. We got other podcast projects. Pokemon Variety Hour can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, and Apple Podcasts in those same three places, and also anchor.fm/Riely Megafeed. You can find the Riely Podcast Megafeed, where there's all sorts of crazy podcasts you never even dream. It's pretty good. There's a show called Peg and Colo Are Bored on there. It has nothing to do with this show. I just figured I'd shout it out, give it a little random shout out to one of the shows.
Nah, it
Um,
has nothing to do with this show. No inspiration, no like no nothing.
nope, nothing at
Peg and
all.
Cole
And
is not
also,
Detour Ahead is not responsible for anything that is said on Peg and Colo, our board. We are not associated with that podcast.
not associated. Those Peg and Colo, those guys, they're fucking assholes, bro. But anyway, you can also find Big Guy Little Guy, which is a YouTube channel where I do Let's Plays with my friend Andrew. And finally, the MoCast is at anchor.fm/the-mode-cast or on the YouTube channel, the MoCast. And that's about it for this first episode of Detour Ahead. I've been Riely.
I've been the one who wanted to do this podcast in the first place, and also Kolochu.
I think we both did. But either way, see you guys next time.